10 traits of a sociopath.
These go in no particular order. In fact, is that they're pathological liars. They just absolutely will lie about anything to anybody. They are a lie. They really are a lie, and nobody knows them. Nobody knows them. They have a different persona that they put forth for every single person, and it's custom made. Every person believes that they are someone different than every other person because they custom make who they are for the person they're appealing to. They make themselves like that person. They're really masterful at figuring out what you want, what you like, how you want to be perceived. Sure that you are in their eyes who you want to be, and that they are like you. They make themselves like you. But it would go like this too. If they were pursuing you as a love interest, though this would morph into you and me against the world. That's what it would morph into. And typically they would pick people who had some wounds, had some problems with rejection, perhaps from their families, things like that. They didn't have a really well-connected family. They had some childhood wounds, that kind of thing. And then they would say, I get you, I understand you, I'm the first one that, it's you and me against the world, that kind of thing. That would really appeal to a person that they would target. They're sensation seekers. Sociopaths are just, they're basically two things that are really motivating them in life. Boredom is one of them, and anger is the other. Boredom is for them just a huge problem. It's just something that they can't handle it at all. Most likely because they don't have an inner self, an inner life. So they just have to constantly be moving, thinking about other people, keeping busy, doing stuff like that, so that they can distract themselves from their empty inner life. And the other thing that really motivates them is anger slash envy, pathological envy. And so, this is basically what runs their life. So what they'll do is they'll create lots of drama. They'll create lots of drama. The thing that will manifest into is arguments. And they love to argue. They love to have controversies with people. They also love to do risky behaviors, speeding in the car, driving drunk, using substances, petty crimes, just basically problematic behavior. It's problematic behavior. That has gone with them since they were young. They will have been some kind of problematic child or teenager. And this could be, depending on what family they grew up in, this could have been identified or not. My ex-husband, they had such low standards. He was like the golden child no matter what he did. And the standards were so low, basically, it's like as long as he wasn't in jail, he was perfect. So, but, had he been in my family, for instance, he would have been considered a problem because he was, got low grades and kind of a bad boy. But just, he had problems with authority, problems with the rules that are laid out for everybody else. Was pretty sneaky about it. So people didn't always know that he was defiant, that he was as defiant as he was. Because he was always very good at, this is another one, reputation management. Always very good at reputation management. That's always a very important thing for them. Another one is surface charm and glibness. If you know someone who is not, just won't ever go into any kind of serious conversation, makes jokes all the time, is, flippant, won't take your thoughts and feelings seriously, will, just, if you never ask them a question and get a solid answer. They're avoidant in what they'll talk about. They want to keep things very, very shallow. If you get frustrated by the fact that you don't really ever feel like you're connecting because they're just shallow, they make jokes. And even if you're someone who should be close to them, you get the sense that everybody is only as close as, like, a cocktail party acquaintance. No one can get any closer than that to them. Next one is egoism and grandiosity. This will come out in all kinds of different things. They brag. They have disdain for others. They might make really terrible racial slurs. They basically just show a disdain for others, a superiority to others. And this comes out in forms of jokes and things like that. And they can also really do it to you. This is, something that my ex-husband did this terribly to our sons, put them down in front of people, humiliated them. But one of the reasons that they won't change is because they don't really feel bad about anything that they're doing. So the part of this too is empathy free. So empathy free is the next one. They don't have the problems of guilt, a conscience, putting themselves in your shoes, feeling your pain. They're not up against those problems. And so they're able to do things that are incredibly cruel, incredibly destructive, and feel nothing about it, feel no guilt at all. And they have absolutely no responsibility to anybody. So if this was the thing that just blew me away with my ex-husband's smear campaign, was responsibility to me as his children's mother, as a person who loved him, as a person who'd been loyal and good to him for the last 10 years. I mean, all of the things that I was, he had no responsibility to me. It was like he was ready he wanted out, and that was it. He was just going to take what he wanted to take. He was entitled, and that was it. It was just really crazy. And then the last one that I have on my list is that they're sadistic and they'll play mind games, and they all kind of play together. And so if you have someone who enjoys your pain, doesn't or isn't, a person who loves you should be really uncomfortable when you're in pain. It should be hard for them to feel content and fine and happy when you're miserable. That should be a little bit of a problem for them. And if you're finding that it's not, and you're finding not even more so that they are happy when they have been the ones to bring you down, that is definitely a huge red flag. Neurotypical people do not enjoy hurting other people. They do, and they get it especially if they're hurting people that are close to them. This will make them really happy. You will notice their moods going up as your mood is going down. As they're destroying you, they will get happier and happier. It's very much a cat and mouse thing. They will play with you like the cat killing the mouse and really get a rise out of it. Really enjoy that. So that is to combat their boredom. That is to deal with their superiority. That's to do with all the many reasons that they can get away with doing that. They will repeat these behaviors. They will not learn from mistakes. They're basically stuck in adolescence. They don't mature past adolescence.